and try and find out what's going on. But an uneasy feeling has happened as dukes are starting to wonder who should be the next one in power. And also, the Danish people, the people to the north, have been part of the Andinian kingdom for a long time. But recently, with a huge war, a high chief by the name of William, who became King William, got independence for his people as they got their province turned into a small little independent kingdom. But of course, that King William, like in A World of Adventures usually does, he too has disappeared to go adventuring, leaving the chiefs to start to fight amongst themselves. Hence the politics that was previously mentioned that caused two of the families to move down from the north to join this small village. Dovedale has been talked about by bards and scholars as this quaint little town that has slowly grown up, and the seeds of adventurers just seem to flow out of this town. No one knows if there's any magic or something, or it just happens to be one of those like conceived things for the DM. But there's always been this flow of heroes that have grown up and come from this small town. That being said, as the Harvest Festivals went, Ilva and Cial kind of got into a bit of a fight because, well, the Duke did something stupid. He assumed that a Danish woman was a simple woman that really couldn't fend for herself type of person and didn't expect her to come and get the blacksmith supplies. His bad wording caused him to find out how far he could fall downstairs into a deck. And she did not step back at all. Her friends, everyone around that knew her, slowly came around the ship to add for support. And then that's when she discovered, looking around, that there was an entire deck full of people. The two officers on board, there was this Charleston, which he is the officer. He's got jet black hair, kind of that charismatic officer type of build to himself. And then there is Chuck, which is effectively a man that has taken damage to the face. Healing magic was applied later at times, but one could attest his face being a little bit like a road map with several side roads and scars and marks. But his brutal face seems to also hide a brutal attitude, as he seems to be this other officer with this group of soldiers. What was gathered from last information is there was concerns about losing information with one of the forts up north. Now that the small map is up in front of you guys, that fort was Holgard, which used to be an old dwarven area, but now the Andinians look after it, and that guard is up in the West County, which that little dotted line you see on that map, that's the divider between the County of the Dales and the West County. And they lost contact with that keep, and there's a little bit of a concern. And they also wanted to check the old ruin of Fort Lint to see if it could be used as a new makeshift fort. Fort Lint is that spot that everyone used to go late at night to have keg parties and enjoyment and scratch their name in the stonework. There's very little left to that fort at all, just the rough base of a once 3-story tower, stone tower overwatch on a big hill. So, that being said, there was a lot of drinking, a lot of debauchery. There was some mud wrestling. That's right. Go back, watch the video. We had mud wrestling between the two ladies.
That happened.
That did happen. And over this time, a raven had been noticed to be watching over this scene. Now, it was picked up by Baylor, who is no longer with us as a player, but he is still with us in-game, and also by Wu, as well as Manfred, which is the servant to
Farnsworth.
Farnsworth? Totally had that right. Farnsworth. And they followed. The Raven was basically not annoyed by the fire, the music, or the louds. He was still watching, which was very odd for an animal. With a big, huge burning fire and a whole bunch of people and mud wrestling, the bird would have gotten startled and flown away. They tracked down this bird, and the women were quite drunk, but they had each other for support, walking forward, and as they did so, a shimmering light spat out a Danish warrior who was mortally wounded, and chasing him was a big, large oaf of a Danish warrior that stood close to 9 feet tall with a slight bluish tinge to his skin. As that portal closed, the man basically was left there. He was quite a handsome man until you rolled him over and realized his intestines were actually exposed. But he had around his neck a golden torque, which a torque, for those that might not know, is woven gold or silver that's formed into a C shape around the neck, and they usually have some sort of little symbols. These were little wolf ones. He had said he'd come here looking for the blood of the wolf. Now, both Ylva and Brynjar are from the Wolfblood clan, which is some of the old roots in the Dinish area. He was looking for that. When Ylva stated that she was that, he swung out to attack her. He was in no position to fight, but he did not hold back and did a nice little carve into her, which she returned and ended his suffering, upon which the item around his neck fell free, and without, checking, seeing if it was magical, I think she just grabbed it and threw it around her own neck, and now it has stuck around here. Her neck, it did heal the wound slightly for her, and the dwarf Baelor, he did a detecting of magic and realized it wasn't a simple little chieftain's torque, which has simple magics just to make announcements that, hey, I'm the chief of the clan. This was an artifact of sorts that has some sort of strong magic to it. Just after she put the torque on, she was given a vision. And after that, she had gone back to the blacksmith's place where the entire party was, including Brynjar, who has now come back from his hunting in the woods. And this is where we start. Okay. So, first off, I'm going to change over to our little chat window here for the people. There we go. It is late at night. And Brynjar, you are outside. Of course, right off the bat, something is up because, last you were going to sleep, but you're outside in the cold night and you're standing outside the giant oak tree. As you stand outside that oak tree, Brynjar, you start to see the winds pick up, the stars are kind of muted from the clouds, and there's this unnatural chill for the night's air. You also notice that Ylva is also standing naked outside the tree, and at that time you too realize that you too are naked.
Did I hear naked?
I'm doing what now? What am I
Exactly. Both you guys seem to be naked by this tree.
I had my headphones off
Did
for
you
just
just
a
say
second.
I'm naked?
Yes.
Am I naked outside? Is that what just happened?
Yes, that is. This is how you're out. Both you guys, you see that Brynjar and yourself are naked outside the tree, outside by the oak tree. And as you guys are staring at it, you get that weird time lapse where you see the clouds start to speed up and a thunderstorm starts rumbling through, but you see the lightning just moving fast across the sky, and with every flash of lightning, the bark starts to split and crack, and blood starts to leak out of this tree. Again, you hear the cawing sound of a raven, and in the area of the boughs where two large branches connect, some of the blood starts to pool up. Again, the raven starts to bathe and dance in the blood like it was just a bird bath, and it starts kind of flicking its feathers, waving its tail and all that, and the blood starts coating it.
Hold on. The last thing I remember, I was asking my mother about this shit, and now magically I'm like outside and naked.
Well, we're getting to this. We're getting to this. And for you, this is not that much of a surprise. You're starting to see the whole thing again as you see the raven now starts hopping around on the branches, starts picking at the acorns, and starts pricking free the little acorns from the oak tree and starts eating some of them. And then there's screams and fires. An orange glow is behind both your characters, casting your shadows super long. There's a thick, sickly, sweet smell of fats burning and whatever's burning behind you. And the river to the side of you, you just see bodies upon bodies start floating down that river. When you look behind you, you see the whole village is ablaze and people are burning in their buildings.
This is my second vision, or this is the first one again?
Nope, this is the second vision again,
and they're distinctly different.
Both of them are the same, and both you and Brynjar are now awake in the blacksmith shop with a startle. You had been speaking to your mom. You guys were all drunk and you all went to sleep, but you two have just had this horrific vision again inside the area. Now, those that might be a light sleeper, that you guys basically have woken up with a startle. You're in the comfort of your mother's blacksmith shop. Brynjar's family also, as laborers, live in the same building and all that. But both of you guys, like, you're at other ends of the room or whatever, just sleeping in some of the sacks and that. And both of you guys are like awake with a start and aware of the other person kind of, oh Jesus, whatever, is waking up with a kind of a quick start to you guys. And it's enough to wake up the other people that are slightly hungover, maybe, which would be Tarsdrid and Cial, and Wu, the sober one of the night, is probably just awake.
Did I drink at all?
I don't think you did.
No, I was running over pumpkins most of the time.
Exactly.
There's a hole in one.
That's right, the pumpkin.
It's also pre-dusk. The sun isn't fully up, but you got those low blues in the sky.
Wait, pre-dusk or pre-dawn?
Sorry, pre-dawn. Pre-dawn. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-dawn. Yeah. Yeah, pre-dusk. Well, I slept through an entire
I was like,
day.
whoa, hey, whoa.
That has happened.
What?
And that's why
I say nothing. Wait, I'm naked. What? No, I'm not.
No, you're not naked. You're actually dressed.
I was naked in my vision.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
You might actually check to see if you're still clothed at that
Okay,
moment.
yes. I immediately check to make sure I am fully clothed. Please tell me I am not
That's a
lost.
good thing to check for.
Yep, you are still fully clothed.
Okay. I look around to see if anyone else is awake.
And that's where you would notice that, Brynjar, you too are awake after having such a startling vision. For you, this is the first time you've had...
What does he look like?
Pardon?
Does he look surprised or upset or frustrated? What do I see on his face?
Brynjar? It's up to you now. Describe yourself. How would you be reacting?
I would be surprised and concerned. Definitely concerned about the meaning of this vision. And do we have a sorcerer or some sort of someone with arcane knowledge in the group?
We did, but apparently that dwarf is not waking up
No,
with
she's
you
a
guys.
sorceress.
And yes.
Oh yeah, Siren.
Siren.
She magics.
I got the magics. I got the magics.
I got the magic. Sorry.
I would probably wake her up and then try and ask her if she knows about any possible meaning.
If I'm right in saying this, correct me if I'm wrong, Cial, but you're probably got your little sleeping bag besides Ylvis, and she's probably snuggled a little closer. Am I wrong on guessing this, maybe, or I'm just saying?
I'm snuggling.
But no, everyone else is waking up. You guys have both had your visions, and then okay, Brynjar, if you move over to her, Cial, effectively you are being nudged awake now. There has been some, you were already kind of waking up, but you're now being nudged awake by someone.
I'm a little grumbly. I don't know who's trying to wake me up, so I'm startled, and it takes me a minute to come to. But I'm not yet aware of what's going on magics-wise, but Batty McBatterson he's acting a little strange.
He was last night, but currently he's happily hanging from a rafter.
He
Right
ate
now,
a lot
and
of mice last night, and that's why he looks a little fat today. So I'm going to join Brynjar in this investigation as to what the F is going on and why these two people are kind of freaking out over there a little bit. I want to check on the girl, see how she's doing. And so they're still outside, right? We're inside, I take it, or are we all outside?
You're all inside, and you're all inside the little. Well, it's not really little. It's a blacksmith's small little quarters, which I will bring up another image for
We're
you
all
guys.
sleeping together in the same room.
Well, it's actually a big room, so that's what I'm just.
I'm sleeping with Siren. That's all I know.
Alrighty. fine,
Alcohol's a hell of a drug.
And did I mention that chapter 2 is mistakes were made is the title.
Yeah, mistakes were made. But I do feel a little off. Can I do a spell to check that out? Because I think I have a little bit of knowledge in some stuff I can run to maybe figure something out a little bit.
Yeah, you could do an arcane check.
I would like.
If there was a knowledge religion that anyone possessed, that would also be good.
Yeah, I don't have that, but I could do my arcane check if no one's